Hi everybody. In this video I want to share a story about how a lot of my friends lost all of their money. Millions of dollars combined. And it wasn't because they were unlucky or they were in bad circumstances. The reason was greed. And I want this video to be a cautionary tale, so if you're in a place where you want to make a lot of money and you do make it, this will hopefully help you not make the same mistakes. And if you stick to the end of the video, I promise that hopefully there's going to be some important takeaways here so you don't make those same mistakes. So it all starts with a simple idea, right? Skip the grind. Who wants to put 20, 30 years of hard work, invest slowly, get a 6% return, maybe stick at a job that you don't even like, to retire, have enough money in the bank account to enjoy the last years of your life? Why would you do that? Might as well just skip all of that, right? And that's how it all started with every single one of my friends. And the thing is that greed can make you make a lot of money. It can. But the exact same thing that makes you make a lot of money is the exact same thing that makes you lose it all. So this is where the story begins. So let's go back to 2020. COVID. Everything crashes. Everything goes down. Bitcoin was something like, I don't remember if it was like $3,000. It was something ridiculous. And stocks went down. Everything plummeted. And then money printing came in. And a lot of people started to invest at the time. Myself included. And let's go with friend number one, which I adore. He's very dear to my heart. And I remember he had put everything into one cryptocurrency. And it went well for him. And at the time, he took out what he had in his retirement account, which was something like $30,000, $35,000. He put it all into one cryptocurrency, which was extremely risky. But mind you, this was around April 2020, the bottom of the market. Fast forward to 2021. He had made, it was somewhere around $1 million. Great timing, right? And he had to be smart to an extent as well to see that it crash as an opportunity and invest almost pretty much at the bottom of the market. He became a millionaire. A paper millionaire, as some people would call it, because he didn't sell. And I remember at the time, we were chatting and he wanted more. He was like, why am I going to sell at $1 million when I can have $10 million? And I remember at the time I did say, dude, like you should at least sell 50K. Like I'm talking 50K out of $1 million, which is not a lot at all. But no, he didn't listen. And mind you, I'm not free from mistakes either. But I remember seeing him and being like, you made it. You made the $1 million. Like this was the goal. The goal was to be a millionaire, right? But he got greedy. And around the time that he had the $1 million, he also started to put some money from... So there were some parts that he sold, but then he would recycle that money into really risky coins. Mind you, this is at the top of the market. So you all probably remember the FTX collapse, the Terra Luna collapse. And he, at one point, put 30K in this other coin that got rug pulled. I forgot the name of the coin. It was called Strong something. Anyways, the thing almost went down to zero, and then he lost that 30K. And soon after that, the entire market crashed, and he, out of the 1 million that he had on paper, at one point he ended up going down to like 100K. Which, mind you, is still a win, right? He went from 30 to 100K. But in the process of that, he lost on paper $900,000. Friend number two, very similar, same friend group. He also put all of his money, also at the right time, in one cryptocurrency. Again, very risky, but again, these guys were lucky with timing. And I don't know exactly how much he had on paper, but at one point it was somewhere between, definitely over $500,000, somewhere between half to $1 million that he had virtually all in profit. from this one cryptocurrency. And I remember at a party, we were chatting once, and he was telling me that he was making roughly like 10K a month in interest payments. So I remember at the time, you probably all remember if you're into the cryptocurrency world, that there were some stable coins or certain websites. I believe Nexo was one of them. There's other ones as well, where if you put your cryptocurrency, you lock it in for a specific amount of time, you would get 8% or 10%. Some of them were ridiculous, something like 12%. And mind you, when the numbers are that good, usually it's because there's something is wrong. It's too good to be true, right? But at the time, he had locked, the friend number 2 has locked a lot of his profits into these cryptocurrencies that would give him like 8-10% return. And that was giving him a yield of something like 10K a month. And I remember in hindsight, he had made it. He had made it. And he was traveling, he was staying at different Airbnbs around different parts. He was staying around in different Airbnbs and traveling and enjoying life. And mind you, all in hindsight, that was like the peak of the market, right? But he wanted more. And I remember one time we went out on a walk. He was really proud of himself, which he should have been, because again, it is smart to invest at the very bottom of the market. And I remember his goal was something to have like $100 million, which again, that's a lot. In the cryptocurrency world, those numbers don't always seem that ridiculous, right? Because we're used to seeing Bitcoin billionaire here and Dogecoin multi-millionaire there and Shiba Inu millionaire here. And because we hear these stories all the time, a lot of these things seem really attainable. So even though you could say that he had made it, he had hundreds of thousands of dollars, I believe, again, somewhere between $500,000 to $1 million. But he wanted more. And then comes the end of the market cycle and everything crashes. And the thing with him, and not just him, but actually friend number 1 as well, is that he had also taken out loans to be able to buy more cryptocurrency. So part of his portfolio ended up being liquidated, and to make his money back, he ended up engaging in some risky things like 5-10x leverage, where he subsequently ended up losing almost the rest of that money. And in the end, he lost about 95% of his gains. So that's friend number 2. Friend number 3 is a guy that I had met at work a long time ago. And I remember at the time he had around $100,000 saved up. And he did some for cryptocurrency, but also a lot of penny stocks. And through the penny stocks, yeah, he made money. I don't know how much money he made, actually, through the penny stocks, but I do know, again, we were investing, like, 2021, everything was going up, right? And the thing is that when everything is going up, everybody's a genius, right? Or so, I'm being sarcastic. Like, everybody thinks they're a genius. But then I remember he emotionally didn't react very well to the cryptocurrency volatility. So he would get really nervous. And, the same thing happened. The market crashed. And what happened with him is that in his stock specifically, he used margin. So I think he ended up borrowing, I don't know if it was something like $50,000. So he borrowed $50,000 to buy stocks, with money that he did not have. And then when everything went down, he ended up having to pay. He not only did he lose the money on the stocks and a lot of the penny stocks that he was playing with, but he had to pay that $50K back. And to make the money back, he ended up doing some risky things. So I believe he was playing with leverage, and he did manage to make the money back, the $100K, which he subsequently lost again. So that's another friend. And friend number 4, I'll do this one, and then I think I'll stop there before I continue with the rest of the video. And this is somebody who, he wasn't super close to me, but it was a friend's husband. So I knew her, and I had met him a number of times. And I did know that he had sold an apartment of his for over $1 million. I believe at the time it was 1.2 million, maybe a little more. I think it was a 2-bedroom, I don't remember. And again, COVID comes, everything crashes, right? So what do? You invest in stocks, and you see everybody's making money in stocks and in penny stocks and in crypto. So what do? Put your money in there, right? Because if everybody's making money, how am I not going to also make money? So he puts the money from the apartment that he had sold previously some time before into stocks. And from what his girlfriend told me, he made millions and millions and millions of dollars. And guess what? He lost it all. And I have more stories as well. I'm not going to get into them because you get the point. And mind you, I am not free of a lot of these mistakes as well. The difference between me and a lot of my friends who ended up losing a lot of money, millions of dollars combined, is that even though I did engage in risk, I did diversify my portfolio enough. So as I had my index funds here, like ETFs, and then I had individual stocks and cryptocurrency, and also a retirement account, and also precious metals, and all that, right? So I invested in a way that even if I risked 30% of my portfolio, it's a lot actually to risk that much in something. So even if I risk, say, 30% of my portfolio, which I do want to preface, it's a lot. It's a big risk, even 30%. But even if I say I lost 30% of my portfolio, I was fine in other areas. But something else that I didn't do compared to a lot of people that I know is that I never engaged in leverage or margin. Because I was always so afraid of something going horribly wrong that I would end up in the negative in terms of playing with money that I didn't have. So anything that I did invest was money that was mine. I never borrowed anything. And also I diversified. So even if I was very risky here, I had other non-risky ways of investing. But on the risky side of investing, I also made very similar mistakes. Again, we all saw the opportunity. COVID crash, March, April 2020 is the perfect time to buy. And around that time, I did start. I remember I bought some Bitcoin in April 2020. Mind you, it wasn't a lot. I don't remember. That was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But I think the Bitcoin that I had is something like $2,000. I turned it into $20,000. I'm trying to remember. It was something like that. Maybe I had some other cryptos as well. But again, COVID, the crash, perfect time to buy, right? So I also had the thinking of this is a good time to invest, which was true. But I remember with some of my risky plays, with like penny stocks or certain cryptos, I made the same mistake. I remember at one point I was playing with like mushroom penny stocks, like psilocybin penny stocks for like the medical studies, right? Like it's all legal, like a lot of this research has been legalized, right? So I just want to preface that. And I remember at one point there was this one penny stock. I think it was like 1,000 became 20,000. Same freaking mistake. I didn't sell. So I made other mistakes like that. Whereas like certain penny stocks went to the moon, and then also the greed got the better part of me. And even with cryptocurrency, I remember there was this really risky crypto. I put, again, it was something like 1,000, 1,500 in. And also that, I remember that went to like 16,000 like overnight. And again, I was thinking, oh, it's going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up. And of course it didn't. It crashed right back down to like 2,000, 1,000. So when I share these stories about my friends, I don't want to paint them as, they're idiots or they're stupid for making these mistakes, because at a smaller scale, I also made very similar mistakes. Again, the difference is I diversified and I never borrowed money. So anything that I did lose, a big chunk of my portfolio was fine. But also because I engaged in less risk, I also made a lot less money because, high risk, high reward is basically how the saying goes. So what is the takeaway here? The takeaway with all of this is that, can you make money? Yes, you can make money. Are you able to keep it? And I'm here to tell you that 99% of people cannot keep their money. And this is not just with cryptocurrency, penny stocks. Look at people who win the lottery. The vast majority lose everything. What about NBA players? Something like NBA players, they lose all their money. They go bankrupt between like 5 and 7 years post-retirement. Some of these athletes have 50, 100, 200, 300 million dollars. Give it 5 years, the vast majority, something like 70% of them, go bankrupt. There's a few different dynamics here. I mean, if you're an NBA player versus you're somebody playing with cryptocurrency and stocks. So I'm here to tell you that the reason I share this, and also I'm sharing some of my own mistakes, and I'm not proud about the mistakes that I did, but at least I diversified, so I'm okay. But what I do want to say is that greed will get the better of it. It absolutely will. And especially now, as the cryptocurrency cycle, Bitcoin, everybody's waiting for the new all-time high. People are putting more money into alts, into altcoins, for people who don't know too much about cryptocurrency lingo. And I'm here to tell you that maybe you will make a lot of money. The likelihood that you're going to keep it is close to none. Close to none. And those are just the stories that I shared in this video, because there's more. There's more people that I know through friends or friends of friends. Very similar things happened. That people had hundreds of thousands of dollars. They made it through some cryptocurrency. They don't have that money anymore. And I want to share this because I don't want this to be you. I don't want more people to go through this. And here's the key. The key to all of this is that the moment that you feel that you're brilliant, the moment that you feel that you're so smart because you picked the right cryptocurrency or the right stock or you invested in the right risky business or whatever it is, the moment that you feel that you're capable of no wrong, that everything that you do is going to go to the moon. When you start to build a superiority within yourself, because you're seeing the results. I'm so smart, right? That is the moment that you're probably going to lose everything. Because what greed will do is it will give you a lot of blind spots. And it's going to give you a lot of blind spots where you're not going to be able to see your own flaws. And because you feel that you're capable of doing no wrong, you're not going to be precautious. And because you're not going to be precautious, you're probably going to lose all your money. So here's the takeaway that I want you to take. Especially, now stocks are going up and everybody's waiting for crypto and the altcoins. What I want you to take away from this is it's easier said than done. Don't be so greedy and you're probably going to be okay. Let's say you put 5K into some cryptos or some meme coins. Mind you, assuming that is money that you can afford to lose. Because you don't want to play with money that you can't afford to lose, right? You want to be able to live well, pay for your food, for your mortgage, for your rent. The last thing you want to do is to put yourself in a position where you're going to be screwed. But assuming you put 5,000 of money that you can afford to lose, and let's say you turn it into 25. That's amazing. Sell the 25 and leave it at that. That's all you have to do. Because what a lot of people do is, I managed to turn 5 into 25. So what if I turn 25 into 300K? And when people start doing this, when the market is going up, it gets more and more and more and more risky. Because the higher the market is, especially when it comes to the cryptocurrency cycles and the volatility, the higher up you go, that's the moment where you have to run. And you have to realize that when everybody's buying in because everything's going to the moon, if you bought at the right time, all those people are your exit liquidity. That's the truth. All the people that are buying in because they're FOMOing in, they're seeing how everybody's making money, those are the people that are your liquidity to leave the market and to run. But what happens to a lot of us, because we're human, let's say you turn 5K into 25K, you're going to want more. And that's human greed. And because of that greed, that is how I saw every single one of my friends who made money through crypto or stocks lose it. I've met a lot of people who made a lot of money through crypto and stocks. None of them who kept it. And I want you to take away this message. So if you see that you have a friend or a family that is into crypto, is playing with penny stocks, you send them this as a cautionary tale. And you have to constantly remind yourself that you're human. And the most expensive mistakes that you're going to make will be because of greed. So don't let that person be you. I wish you all the best for people who are, trying to make a better life for themselves. And I think don't let greed get to your head. And if you do that, and if you manage to be mindful, keeping your greed in check, you're going to be fine. So just remember that. Thank you for watching. I would appreciate if you did enjoy this video, if you give me a like or a comment and subscribe. And if you like this topic, let me know, and maybe I'll do more videos on this very same subject. There's a lot of wealth to be shared in the world, but sometimes we sabotage ourselves. And it's not other people that sabotage us a lot of the time. It's ourselves, and it's our chasing for more money and more greed. So we just have to learn to get to a place and not get ahead of ourselves and not let our ego get ahead of ourselves. And we're all going to be in a better place if we learn to do that. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you.